to connect with angels, to really even feel it more on a moment to moment level, they teach go through your heart, connect with that inner child, whom they call the divine inner child. You can take a photo of yourself as a child that you like, and you connect with that self through the eyes, right? The eyes are the window of the soul. And by just using intention to connect to that little child and to listen, that's the first step, because truly you want to connect with your own deepest inner self that's never going to lie to you. And after that, then you say to that inner child, that divine inner self, can I meet my guardian angels? I want to hang out with the 12 archangels. Now, in angel abundance, they take you immediately into an invitation to meet them, where they appear as trees. And you go with your divine inner child.
I'm going to be honest. I used to think that sounded a little too woo for me, and I'm pretty woo. I'm out there. But that for me at that time, when I wasn't ready or told myself I wasn't ready, we're always ready. This is home. But we've been so conditioned and programmed to think that it can't be that easy or that playful or that childlike. And in fact, that is the nature of true abundance and true wealth. And where the miracles reside is in happy childhood energy. Oh, Belinda, I am so excited for us. Before I hit record, I asked if we could just have a moment of prayer. And I'm really remiss that I didn't record that, because we just spoke into the gratitude to be here, and for those who are tuning in into this vibration that we are all co-creating. And then the angels came in, and I'm getting the full body chills right now, and just let us know that they are here, they are with us, which we know, but it was just so beautiful to hear it and to have fun and to trust and to flow. All of the qualities of your latest book, Angel Abundance, which we're going to talk a lot about. But I just want to say, first of all, I'm so grateful to be here and here in this way with you. And welcome again to Fire and Soul.
Thank you, Michelle. It's a joy to be here.
It is. Thank you. I had shared with you several weeks back when we started exchanging again via email and talking about your new book and getting you back on the show. And I was like, wow, as I looked at the downloads for 2022, a Fire and Soul podcast, the year where I took a real shift, it was after my awakening, which still continues to be ongoing, not finite. And I looked at the top episodes of the year that had the highest amount of listenership. And between my solos, when I'd get kind of crazy and talking about all kinds of who knows what, the angels, you and the angels, were of the highest downloads. So I'm very excited to bring you back to those who have been loyal and devoted to the show and come here to get their soul food. But we have a lot of new listeners all around the world that are tuning in, that are deepening into their self-discovery, their self-awareness, their awakenings. So for those that are new and those that need a refresher, have a little backstory on how you were drafted by the angels, and then we'll move into where we are currently.
So, it's an old story now. This event happened over 30 years ago, excuse me, where I was working as a cell biologist. And I was holding a stem cell sample in my hand, and I had a visitation from the Archangel Gabriel. And so what I've come to understand is it was a bit of being in what we would just cliche call my left brain and having a pop over into my right brain. But it was definitely a very real experience. And I found myself in a stone room that was round, and the ceiling opened up and the floor was dirt, because part of my brain said, wait a minute, I'm sitting under a sterile hood holding a stem cell sample and my feet are bare on a dirt floor. What is happening? And then in the streaming light pouring through the ceiling, it was Archangel Gabriel. And I recognized the angel because the angel had a trumpet. And so I was like, okay, angel with trumpet, Gabriel. And the angel spoke to me telepathically, very, very clear. Belinda, we are calling you to help humanity. Humanity has forgotten that they are God's divine children, and we need your help. And so I argued with Gabriel. I said, I don't have the experience for this. It sounds like I need to know some psychology. I think you've called the wrong number. I'm a biologist. I spent a lot of time in graduate school to be here. And the angel just spoke to me so clearly and said, and there was the word we expect some resistance, but you will surrender. And I don't always share that piece of the story, so they must want that part of the story shared with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well, what do you need me to know for this job? And Gabriel said, we need you to know what's in the book to your left. So I turned around, and in this dusty, kind of dimly lit room was an enormous book that was the size of a table. The book opened up, and red fire, scarlet red letters, love. That's what the word said. And I said, okay, well, I guess I can learn what love is and how to work with love. Not having any understanding at that time what I was going to learn about the power of love. So that was pretty much it. The next thing I knew, I was back in the lab holding the sample. I thought I'd been gone for a day, at least quite a number of hours. I looked at my watch, and not even 1 minute had gone by. Wow. And that's what blew me out. And my whole body was shaking because I really didn't know what just happened to me, but something had happened. And clearly, if I remember it this viscerally, 30 plus years later, it made quite the impact. And so I just, angels are real. They show up often unannounced, and they want to help all of us to work with the power of love, because love is the power that transforms fear. Fear creates suffering. Love creates heaven on earth. Let's choose love.
Beautiful. Thank you for that refresher. This is a new piece of art that I had put on my bookshelf. And for those only listening, it says love. And, it's interesting that the angels wanted you to bring up that part about the surrender, because I think that where we, and I say we as a collective, especially those who are tuning into fire and soul, and myself especially included, there has been a bit of a mandate, if not demand. Started out as an invitation. Now it's become like it is time to surrender to what is truth, which is everything begins with love, self-love, love for others. And I can't wait to share some of my story and how profound it's been for me to really tap into this frequency with you and the angels recently. But I feel like it's like let's go, let's do this for real so we can end suffering on planet Earth.
Well, and Michelle, you gave the kind of ultimate 12 Archangel tool to your listeners by saying, let go. It's truly about, and we can use our very powerful ego mind to say, we can give it something to do. Say all day long, I let go. I surrender. I surrender to the joy of my soul. I surrender to divine oneness. Show me each and every step. Right? I'm here to bring love.
As a recovering triple type A, not even type A, from the way past, perfectionist running me, which is really the childhood wounding, not unlike most roaming the planet, was that I wasn't good enough. So if I just did this, and if I just did that, and if I got on TV, or if I made this amount of money, or got into that relationship or whatever, then I would finally be worthy of the love that I so desperately desired, but thought that I didn't have, or maybe was worthy of. The shift in this past year since our last time that we connected has been so profound. And I have found that it always comes back to, especially with my devotion to my spiritual attunement at my altar, my sacred personal altar that replaced my television, is that it comes back down to cleaning and clearing anything that is not in co-resonance with love.
And bringing that energy of forgiveness into places that still need to hold that forgiveness. So, for example, I work with the angels every day on some kind of transformation. And one of the ultimate pain points for human beings is not feeling accepted, right? Not feeling accepted, and for whatever reason, not feeling good enough. And certainly, if we're a little bit different from the rest of our family, which many of us are, then we can feel that sense of exile. And that is very, very powerful, because then we project that onto the divine. We actually project that onto our divinity. And then we take into that humanity, God doesn't love me either. You know, I don't have a connection to spirit, to source, to creator, pick your terminology. So what do I have left? Right? I have control to try to control myself, to try to make myself perfect, to make myself be like how I'm expecting other people want me to be. And that just pushes us more into fear, more into isolation and separation and doubt about our own abilities and our own lovability. And we forget even more, wait a minute. Higher self's got us, right? Michelle's higher self, your soul, has been guiding your journey since the moment you came into this planet. And same is true for Belinda and for your listeners, because we come in with a purpose. And that purpose for all of us is to transform fear into love. Because fear pulls us down, it pulls us into lack, it pulls us into suffering, into brokenheartedness, whether there's a good-looking man involved or not. I mean, it pulls us down. That's what fear does. And love lifts us, connects us with source, with heaven, with loving relationships, with happiness, with our potential. And wow, we just feel so much better. We feel better. That's what the 12 archangels are all about.
Definitely resonate there, and my energy gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's just the twin sisters come in of intuition and creativity, and next thing I know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could create this to support that, or I could do this to help over there, or to serve. And it's so beautiful to be in that ascended frequency. You said something about fear, and I've heard you mention many, many times that planet Earth, Mother Earth, is the only planet where fear resides. I think I've heard you say that.
Yes, that is very true. There's lots of arguments about this. Belinda believes in what the 12 archangels teach, because it makes sense. That's why they chose a scientist, because it needs to make sense. They said, look, creator's not dumb. If you're gonna create a school, a one-of-a-kind school, where you get to take the vibration of love and dilute it almost to an infinite number of dilutions, meaning put in all kinds of fear. And you see, we create with our thoughts and with our feelings. So we can create like creator with love, or we can create with the energy of fear. And that's why Schoolroom Earth looks the way it does. So with that, Schoolroom Earth and all of the fear, we have created countless numbers of dimensions loaded with fear and all kinds of bad guys and good guys. but it is contained. It's contained vibrationally, because if you were to leave schoolroom Earth, then there's only love. And even in our own solar system, we think that Mars is hot and that Venus won't support life. But if you actually let the angels show you Venus, or take you to Pluto, or to one of the incredible beings that is even part of our solar system, you realize, oh, we have help. These are aspects of the angels holding schoolroom Earth, in a beautiful container of love. So we can think we can destroy our school all we want, but it's actually quite protected.
Beautifully said. Thank you for that, Angels and Belinda. The gift of master fear is something that I've been really interested in facing and being with, not to like face off in an aggressive way, but to know who I am and be with anything that might be coming through. So now I look at fear as the greatest teacher. It's almost like this mirror of, well, what would be the worst case scenario, especially with what is going on in the world, which is why we're really here today to discuss the vibration of abundance that's within Angel Abundance, your newest book, but it's really what is on the opposite of precluding so many of us from feeling or experiencing with all of the fear and all the anxiety being pumped at us 24/7 right now, and choosing our own reality and getting into that protective bubble, if you will. And this is what I'm excited about, because the fear is just an opportunity, an invitation to be like, well, what would be my worst case scenario? All right, I can be with that. Right. So I don't know if there's anything that wants to come through as a result of me sharing that, but I'll pause if so.
Okay, let's see what the 12 angels have to say.
All right.
Powerful ones, what you forget is that you are in school. So we love to remind you that you are in school. And yes, Master Fear is your teacher. Master Fear is teaching you that your thoughts and your feelings create. But what creates so powerfully within you is your past. Not even your past from this life, but your past lives together with the past of your family and your ancestors. It all gets rolled in together to manifest what you experience. But when you hold the intention to bring love where love is missing, to bring love into the past, to forgive it, we talk quite a bit about this in our new book. You see, then you no longer live in the past, you live in the present. And the present is like a beautiful open bowl, ready to receive in abundant love. And love is the vibration that allows you to receive organically, naturally, automatically, all that is for your greatest good and your highest joy. You don't have to make anything happen. Choosing love lets it come to you. Thank you, our beautiful Michelle, for facing your fears, for it helps all concerned. Fear is illusion. Poke Master Fear with Archangel Michael's sword of sapphire singing light. And fear will only giggle and disappear, be transformed, for you no longer need this teacher anymore. And this is true for the human collective. You've outgrown fear. It's very entertaining for you. You seem to love drama and proof that all is either going to hell in a handbasket or that you're going to be rescued immediately. But what we say to you, love is real. Step into it, dive into it, sleep in it, eat it, live in it, and watch your reality change. Prove it to yourself. abundant love.
Mm. Slow.
They're
Thank
funny
you,
today.
angels.
Yeah.
What?
They're funny today. Yes.
Yeah, they really are. They've got some spice, which is really great because as I've shifted into not being as interested at all about what's playing out in the world and what the agenda is, it's like I'm more interested in this vibration, living with my heart open, covering myself in my ruby blanket, swimming in turquoise waters. I mean, this vibration of love, undiluted love that you tried to share with me a year ago, and I took on some of it, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't willing to face, to put the time in, to devote myself to my own spiritual rituals, to crack open the density that I had been enslaved by. And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. That was not only this life, and this is why I'm so excited and grateful the angels just said, not even this life, past lives, karmic, ancestral, parents' past lives. And not that we need to allow that to be yet another reason to hold us back and keep us small, but to realize how easy it is to sever the ties with the honoring of facing fear, the greatest gift, to show us the gifts that we are about to receive on the other side of being afraid to face the fear. This has been my experience.
It's so true. The
Mm,
fear is so easy to transform. The
mm,
past is easy to transform with love.
mm,
And then as we do this, we help the human collective
mm,
to wake up and to transform, because not every human being we know is ready to let go of the drama and the trauma and the fear. They're just not there yet. But those of us who are ready and who are willing to say, oh my goodness,
mm,
fear wants to return to love.
mm,
Let's do that. Let's
mm.
put the fear in violet fire of the crown chakra and fill it with forgiveness. It helps all concerned, right? There are souls that incarnated to help the human collective to let go of fear.
Mm.
And it's like the way the angels describe it is, think of yourself as a cell in the one human body, and that your cell is healthy because it's full of love. But
Mm.
there are lots of cancer cells in the body
Mhm.
of humanity.
Mm.
And what happens is that the healthy cells reach out to those cells that have cancer vibrationally,
Mhm.
and they heal them.
Mm.
And that's what's happening.
Mm. Mm.
And when healing happens, there can be resistance, there can be mass confusion.
Mm.
And so what we must do is that those individuals who are brave enough to live your life as God's divine child and be happy, that's what it comes down to. Be
Yes.
happy, let go of control. We're doing this for the entire collective and for all of Schoolroomer. So it's
Mm.
a big job, but it feels a lot better to be happy and free than to be imprisoned by what we have to get done and what might happen, right?
Yeah, what might happen exactly. I was so consumed with that and poured, thousands of hours into what might happen of my time, reading, watching, and then talking about it and really digging in that groove more so, reinforcing what I was most afraid of. And when I decided to no longer engage, first of all, this show shifted and started to grow exponentially because it turns out that is very compelling. So that vibration was beginning to magnetize others on the path of awakening, whatever that might mean to each one of us, self-discovery, self-awareness. We're just getting to know ourselves in our multidimensionality. But there's a lot of picture painting if people want to pay attention to what's happening in the sort of mainstream of that it's dark and scary and that you should prepare and I even let go of that, Belinda. And part of that was I watched you in a great interview with Dr. Christiane Northrup, who I know is a dear friend of yours. And I remember at the very end of that interview, and it was a recent one, and because some of my shifts, the most profound shifts, have been within the past few months, and will continue that way. Now it's accelerating, and that I'm excited about. But she had asked you, is there anything else that you would like to share at the end of that conversation on her channel? And you said, yeah, I am the happiest I have ever been. And it was such this beautiful thing, right? Because so many people are the most scared, the most addicted, the most powerless, victim, pity, and I have compassion. But there's another reality that we get to choose. So I'd love for you to expand on even your own happiness and what it's like for you to build on that through your work with the angels, because I know that's medicine that our community needs to hear and be reminded of.
So for Belinda, I practice the angels' tools all day long. And their main tool is pay attention to what you feel and to what you think. And if it's not happy, if it doesn't feel expansive, if it's going back over there into anxiety land, which we can all be so proficient at living in anxiety land, then of course I breathe, I ask for help, I will put myself under a violet fire rain shower, and sometimes turquoise. So for your listeners, violet fire means transformation. It's going to transform fearful thoughts, anxiety, worry. And turquoise is freedom, dreams come true, clear communication, being able to really hear that intuitive knowing. Turquoise comes from two chakras, the throat or will chakra and heart. It's very much about being in heart. And then, of course, I'll listen to my little Belinda. But for my own life, I have learned that I'm not in charge of my life. Spirit is totally in charge of my life. And I have learned to love transformation. So when I find some other sticky belief, like here's a good one. Survival has been, and we've all, you can get mad at who manipulated us, or you can get mad that we allowed ourselves to be manipulated, or you can just put all the manipulation in violet fire and no longer be manipulated.
Yes.
But so in our brains, and this is in Belinda's brain, but it's in the violet fire ocean now, is survival equals money. And and it's ridiculous because money is a thought form that is full of fear. And, part of our job in the book, Angel Abundance, is to transform the fear in money so that it's easier for all concerned and less punishing and less imprisoning of people. But we were brainwashed that survival is dependent on money, when survival is dependent on source, right? It's our souls. This is, it may sound woo, but it's fact, right? It's our souls that bring us here, and it's our souls that will take us back to heaven. That's the immortal part of us. And when we fully understand that, and then what they teach in Angel Abundance is, if you need money, go to source. Let your soul, which connects with source, right? Take care of you and provide for you. And then you get out of survival mode, which is where fear wants to take us. So my point in sharing this is that I continue to learn and unravel just old knotted beliefs, because they will knot together. And the way we were brainwashed, all of us, or we bought into it, was we had to drink the Kool-Aid that the feminine is bad
Mhm.
The human female is bad. The feminine creative brain is bad, only leads us into trouble, will only lead us into la la land. And, all those places where we can't be controlled.
Mm.
And what I want to say is that I was a biologist. I spent a lot of time in school, and I'm very grounded in common sense. I have to feel the truth of the angels. I have to feel their tools. But after 30 plus years of watching them work and seeing the results, and it's always tangible,
Mhm.
and seeing my own life change so dramatically from one day to the next, the improvement is off the charts.
Off the charts.
Off the
Yeah.
charts. And
Yeah.
everybody deserves.
Yes.
And it's easy. It's
Yes.
love.
We have just been so effectively conditioned to think that it has to be hard, that it can't be that easy, and that we have to somehow, from egoic mind identity, try to control it. There's been a theme in this conversation around surrender, and some of us, type A females, driven, ambitious, you too, right? It's like, even the thought of surrender, I know for me in the beginning, it was like, what are you talking about? No, I was raised on self-development. You claim your destiny. And it was that kind of energy. It was exhausting. So no wonder I had a divine intervention and was awakened to, there's a lot easier way to do this. You can be soft and gentle and really powerful in your love, in your peace, in your forgiveness. And that is something that clearly needs to come through. And it's interesting how it's coming through, right? The energy, the context, it's got this sweetness, and yet it needs to be firm and funny to make the point. And I know you know what I'm talking about right now. It's fascinating to observe the frequency.
Miracles.
Yes, yes. True miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want to share something about that. So when I ordered your book, knowing that we were going to have the conversation, which was scheduled about a month out, and then we had a little hiccup with another thing, and then we scheduled it one other week out, so maybe 5 weeks out. So it gave me beautiful, ample time to really receive the transmission. So angel abundance, and the way that it came through you from the angels, has a real potency in vibration. I felt opened right away. And then as I started to take that energy into my altar time, which is where I go, I'm beckoned. I never know why what I'm going to receive or what I need to clear or clean. But within 15, 20 minutes, it's revealed. And so as I was able to open more and more into, you don't have to do this alone, Michelle. You can let go, let God, let the angels. Ask to receive straight from source. A lot of different, weavings were coming in as a result of the wisdom, the divine intelligence through angel abundance. And I'm not exaggerating, and this is not a number that has got any hyperbole at all. Within less than about 10 days time, and on top of my expected revenue or income sources, there was an additional $15,500 that just came in the way of like, so I'm just going to pause because maybe something wants to come through, or you're just acknowledging, yes, this is the way, my love.
Michelle, it's about worth. And
Yes.
that's very much what they teach. It's so true. When we, earlier in our conversation, when we are children and we feel rejected in whatever way, shape, or form, our self-worth goes down. Then, as the angels have explained, we start to unplug from soul, from source, from our spirit, our self-esteem, which is a power. It's the solar plexus chakra. It goes down even more. And then it makes it challenging to receive. So you are giving the example of financial wealth that is easy for the human brain to translate to, wow, my worth went up. My worth went up on the inside. This is what the angels teach always: inside, outside. Change it on the inside, it has to change on the outside. But let's just real quick give the example of, let's say that you were already a multi-millionaire, and you didn't give this is an angel phrase, a rat's poop about having more money.
Okay.
As your self-worth goes up
Mhm.
and you connect fully to that divinity, which
Mm.
is a process, folks. It's a process. It doesn't happen with the snap of the fingers, because that love and forgiveness has to reach those places where it's been shut down.
Yes.
So as that awakening and that love flows in, then you begin to attract to you
Mm.
what makes the human heart truly sing. So that could be a beloved,
Mm.
or improved health, creative genius ideas, and also, funding if that's what you need, or opportunities to come.
Yes.
It all will come. And
Mm.
that's why it's so important
Mm.
to, listeners, receive the message. You cannot be less than creator,
Mm.
because you are creator, you are source. Only fear can have you believing that you are less than.
Mm.
And that's what happens in childhood, or at some point in life, because we're on schoolroom earth to experience fear.
Mhm.
And lots of times we come to schoolroom earth and we forget we're in school.
Mhm. Yes.
And so that human ego
Mm.
looks to others outside of self
Mm.
to have that validation that I'm okay. That's
Mm.
what children do at the age of around 18 months to 2 years. They start to look outside of self. Do
Mhm.
you love me? Do you see me? Are you going to give me attention? And if that little toddler is rejected, it goes into every cell very deeply. If we were an unwanted pregnancy,
Mhm.
goes in to every cell, but it
Mm.
can be transformed. And exactly what you said,
Mm.
through ask source, your
Mm.
own soul, mother, father, God. Belinda likes to use all the terms.
Mhm. Me too.
Saturate me with
Mm.
the truth that my worth is beautiful and grand, great, and even infinite.
Mm.
And watch the miracles happen as you transform from the inside out.
True miracles for true wealth. Can you share what I know it's not verbatim necessarily because the angels are very creative, but your interpretation of true wealth is?
Hmm. So
Mhm.
the angels define true wealth as happiness,
Mhm.
because they say when a human being is happy, you have everything.
Mm.
True, but what's truly going to make you happy?
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
for example, if it's not the right partner, then true wealth would say, let's bring in who will bring you that joy,
Mm.
as an example. Well,
Mhm.
they say we human beings have been so really brainwashed to believe that true wealth is only about money. But money can't buy love, it can't buy health, it can't buy uh, opportunity, creativity. So when we let ourselves receive through the feminine true wealth,
Mm.
why not have it all? That's what we're actually here to remember how to do. That's graduation for
Mhm.
schoolroom earth.
Yeah, this is great. Well, Fire and Soul is very quickly accelerating into a graduate program. And so what's beautiful about Angel Abundance is that, yes, it's very practical in terms of like understanding how we maybe have gotten ourselves into debt, or, what is the vibration around a mortgage or a loan, or so many beautiful, beautiful examples of the practicality of being human. But you just said something that true or monetary wealth, the one thing that really stood out to me that didn't get said, but I felt, was it also can't give you worth.
No.
In fact, the more money that you make to try to make up for not having a sense of real worth, authentic self-love worth, right? Knowing who you really are, the more that you think you need to go and get those things, the bags, the cars, the houses, and then show it off on social. Look at me. And I am not judging that. I know what that's like. I used to be in that trap as well. The other thing that you said that was so beautiful is you said, folks, it's a process. And it was a very clear tone. It is a process. This is not going to happen overnight. And I want to just share that, and I've shared it here many times, but because I'm about to be on the 2-year anniversary of the beginning of my authentic process, was I had to let go of a lot of things that would have precluded me from being able to tap into some sort of that field. What I mean by that is alcohol, television, mainstream media, any news or legacy media on any level, a neighborhood that no longer aligned that really shocked me. It's maybe not unlike you getting drafted that day, right? Like, what is this? How does this make sense? I thought Santa Monica was the place I would stay, have a place to place in forever until I moved to Montana and be near you. That's my dream. One day it's going to happen. And so it shocked me, but all of that was necessary because I had to open up into the possibility of connecting to my real true self, and then recreate my childhood, understand the energy of trust. I will share with you, when we connected last year, you definitely choked on grief. That was really strong in me. And it was powerful for me to get present to how much grief I was holding in my lungs. I was also still smoking cigarettes at the time, so there was that. And what was clear to me at that time was that I needed to invest in one of your courses at the time, and it was all around understanding the energy of trust. And I would listen to that while gazing up at the trees, because that's all I could do was just sit in the park and just listen to it on my phone with earbuds. And I didn't even know how to connect with the energy of trust. It was that foreign to me, Belinda, even though here I was raised on a steady diet of self-development, spiritual growth, but I hadn't really, really understood what that meant. And that was the next phase of my process. So now here we are, and the shift that I feel, where I don't feel as much fear. There's still sometimes it's going to come in. It's a teacher, but it's because I've allowed myself to trust the process. And so just to give some context for those who are new, how would you recommend, aside from obviously we're going to invite everyone to pick up Angel Abundance, but how to begin to commune with the angels, to open up that vibration of trust and love? What would be some first couple of steps?
The first thing I just want to point out is that trust is an energy that actually comes from the heart chakra. It comes from the soul, our higher self, and fills us with trust. So it's glue. It glues the ego back home to the heart and to the soul. And that's what it does. To connect with angels, first of all, they are everywhere. The trees around us are angelic beings. So they are really omnipresent on schoolroom earth. Our earth herself is an archangel. So we're completely taken care of. And to connect with them, to really even feel it more on a moment to moment level, they teach, go through your heart, connect with that inner child whom they call the divine inner child. And they teach how to do that in their both their books, Lessons from the 12 Archangels and Angel Abundance. But you can take a photo of yourself as a child that you like, and you connect with that self through the eyes, right? The eyes are the window of the soul. I do this in personal consultations. I ask for a photo of the little child, because then I can get the truth. I can find out what happened in past lives, or what do what's the story? And by just using intention to connect to that little child and to listen, that's the first step, because truly you want to connect with your own deepest inner self that's never going to lie to you. So to go through the child is symbolic, right? To go through that which is innocent and trusting. So it starts to reawaken that trust in self, in soul, in others that are trustworthy. And after that, then you say to that inner child, that divine inner self. Can I meet my guardian angels? Can I, want to hang out with the 12 archangels? Now, in angel abundance, they take you immediately into an invitation to meet them, where they appear as trees. And you go with your divine inner child. So you feel it. That's what they're doing right off the bat, is feel us, because we are everywhere looking out after you. That's the clean and easiest way.
So beautiful.
You don't have to connect. It doesn't really work to connect with ascended masters, teachers in heaven, loved ones in heaven, angels, through your head, because you're not going to really trust your head. It can get in there and question and say, did I really do this? Did I really see what I saw? Did I really know what I knew? But when you go through your heart, there's no way to argue. It's beautiful. Your ego just kind of sits there dumbfounded going, I can't argue with that.
The ego finally gets to surrender, which, by the way, what a gift for ego, right? Because it's got to be tired too. Let it have a little nap. Let's try living from the heart, wide open with the energy of trust, emerald green and gold sparkles. I used to think, I'm going to be honest, I used to think that sounded a little too woo for me. And I'm pretty woo, I'm out there. But that for me at that time, when I wasn't ready or told myself I wasn't ready, we're always ready. This is home. But we've been so conditioned and programmed to think that it can't be that easy or that playful or that childlike. And in fact, that is the nature of true abundance and true wealth. And where the miracles reside is in happy childhood energy. And that was the other part, is when I was going through that course a year ago, trying to, from the mind, figure out how to get into the energy of trust, which of course doesn't work that way. So I was in resistance to my own flow. I would hear you say over and over, you can recreate a happy childhood anytime you choose. It's a wonderful theme in the first book. And that sounded so far-fetched. This is why every time we've said process here, I really hope that those who need to hear that really take that in. Be gentle, be patient, be willing to surrender to the process where all the magic and miracles reside. It's worth it.
And it gets easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're developing patience with yourself. That's why we have to be patient.
Yes, totally. There's another part of the book that really spoke to me, and it was around the principles of divine law. And you even referenced it a moment ago, where you mentioned, was talking about the law of as above, so below, as within, so without. Can you give the Cliff Notes version? It's in the book and it's so beautifully written, but the Cliff Notes version of the importance of the 3 laws, and then each law and how it applies to us being able to tap into until they receive their copy or their downloaded version of Angel Abundance, to tie us over a little bit of the divine law.
So there are more than 3, but the 3 that the angels teach in Angel Abundance is what many of the manifestation teachers and scholars have called the law of attraction, when they, from their perspective, haven't really understood the law of attraction. So they would like to make it simple by saying what it is.
Love it. Thank you, angels, for the clarity.
So there is the law of as above, which means the vibration of heaven, where there is no fear. Yes. So below is earth. We get to have fear here. And so within, so without. So the way it works is that as we bring the vibration of heaven to earth, and we do that within ourselves, we bring forgiveness where forgiveness is needed. We transform the fear. Fear's it's an energy. It's all the energy of love, but it's dropped way low in vibration. So we transform that, we change from the inside out. So we bring heaven from the as above in vibration to the so below into our daily lives. Yes. When we understand that this works together with the law of one, which says that we are all one, And when one of us shifts in vibration, we do it for all concerned. But also the reason they bring in the law of one is to help us to understand that our own evolution, Michelle, is interwoven with every other human being and with divine oneness itself. So we may be frustrated standing at the train station, or train is symbolic for transformation. I'm here, I'm ready, I want to transform. Where's my train? The law of one says your train is coming when it's for the greatest good of all concerned. Okay, so this massive, what people believe is this massive awakening, this is the law of one at work. Yes. There are now enough, and enough is a limiting word, but enough human beings that have incarnated and are here to help raise the vibration of the energy, which is law number 3, the law of energy. It's really the law of vibration, so that now there can be a new understanding that is spreading. And basically what this new understanding is doing is saying, egos, you can relax. There's help for you. And so we put it all together. The law of as above, so below is really the big one, because when you you raise the vibration of your energy through love, you transform that fear, you let go of control, you learn a lot about time and money as they teach. When you get that vibration up there, you automatically attract to you more heaven. You can't stop it. You can't prevent it. So that's how all these divine laws work together to help the human being to receive in happiness, but not just, this is what really feeds my own heart, is that we're helping all concerned. We're helping all human beings who are suffering on schoolroom earth, and we benefit divine oneness, right? The great cosmos.
So beautiful. We definitely are in the midst of a real great awakening, and who knows where it all goes. I just know that I am living predominantly with a heaven on earth reality. And so therefore it doesn't really matter what people are saying or what it may look like in any given moment as a play-by-play. That would be like planting a seed for a beautiful rose garden bush and unearthing, like keep digging up the soil. Like, is it working? Is it working? Trust in the process. And life gets so much easier when we can just attune to this vibration, which is why I was asking about the divine laws. And thank you for referencing that. There's a part in Angel Abundance that I wanted to read that I think speaks to the Great Awakening. And it's a healing experience, and you offer up 64 of them in the book. The angels were quite generous. And it's called A New Beginning. And if it's okay, I'd like to read it. And if those watching or listening can close your eyes, I would encourage you to do so. And if you are driving, obviously do not. But just take in the vibration. It's a short passage. It says, close your eyes and imagine that you are looking at yourself in the mirror. The face that is smiling back at you is yourself at around age 5 or 6. As you focus on the eyes of the child, that is you. Say, you are the pure love of the heart of God. Repeat this until you feel a melting and euphoric sensation fill your body. Then say, divine oneness, I am undiluted love, inside and out, and I am calling to me that which is for my greatest good and highest joy. I am willing to evolve into a more complete human being, and through the law of one, I desire all other human beings and all of Mother Earth to benefit from my evolution and freedom. It's my favorite part of the book. It's everything. It's surrendering. It's being willing to go into the process. It's choosing to redefine our childhood. It's allowing for the awareness for the highest and best for all, including Mother Earth. It's acknowledging the angels and the divine oneness. It's acknowledging your work, my purpose on the planet, me, just the euphemistic me. Good stuff. Oh, what came through for you as I read the passage that came through you as you allowed it to enter the page?
Well, let me bring in your friends.
Okay. Woo-hoo.
Human beings, you have forgotten that you are divine.
Mm.
And it is our joy and it is our mission to remind you that you are divine beings. And in your core, you are innocent. You may be playing out all kinds of games and dramas and not very happy movies, but we know who you really are. And we know that you are growing. And to ask and to receive a happier childhood on the hour. It is our promise. It is your soul's promise to you. And it changes. It changes everything for the better. Don't take our word for it. Connect, surrender, expand, receive, and play.
Receive. Yeah, receive. I feel like there is an inversion of thinking we need to give, to prove, to do, to produce, rather than simply letting it be easy and to receive.
The other thing, Michelle, is that we have been taught, those of us on spiritual journeys, and this is for not just this lifetime, right? Not just for this time around, but that we need to manifest. Now, we are constant co-creators. We're always manifesting. But we're taught, oh no, you don't manifest what you don't like. Here are the rules to manifest what you want. When that creates confusion and it creates separation, and it can pull us right back into, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not doing it fast enough or good enough because I haven't manifested what I want. When the truth is, let your soul receive it, or something even better, into your reality. We are receptive beings because Creator is receptive. And this means working with our feminine, which is our intuition, our feelings, honoring those emotions, energy in motion. Right? We raise the vibration of that energy, and what we need and desire, it comes to us. So it's a beautiful awakening and an ascension into freedom and grace and blissfulness. And the more we allow this experience, it grows. Does it last for hours at first? Comes in this energy, and then it purges more of that subconscious. It purges more fear and unworthiness and guilt and shame and blame. But it's an opportunity. Just let it rise up, transform it. And then the next moments of happy childhood and blissfulness are longer. And they keep growing.
That's been my experience for sure. When you talk about, when you get that glimpse in the moment and it's kind of like touching the subconscious. What I have been doing that's been helping me, in case it's helpful for anyone listening or watching, is I relax the moment that I notice that, so that I'm informing my nervous system and my known past that thinks that's how it's always going to be forever, that it's okay to relax and receive, that it's okay to feel this blissed out, that I'm safe to expand into even more love and more forgiveness and more compassion. That's the upward spiral that is the love language with a lot of color, rainbows and sound of the archangels that I have now become more accustomed to. Not every day, I'm still deeply human, but I'm beginning to notice that there is a percentage that feels bigger in the other river, if you will.
And you get more done. This
So
is important.
I'm bending time. It's so crazy. Yeah. Okay. I want to share a free gift that we put together, and the angels and you were so generous, and I want to talk about it. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask if the angels have maybe something for me. It's a personal request, and or what would be for the benefit and for the highest and best for all. So if I'm in there, great, have it be for all of us. But anything that wants to come through as a result of this conversation. Thank you.
Michelle, we thank you for allowing your creative efforts to surprise you, because we say that there are doors that are going to open that are unexpected. And so what we ask for you to do is to take your expectations, especially those that you don't know about, and send them down the violet fire river to the central sun, and to say, I release everything that I expect, everything that I believe, that I know that it's going to happen this way. And then you surrender and you allow yourself to be happily surprised, and for things to unfold with grace and ease. For your listeners, our message is that what we have put in both books is love. Holding the book, even if you can't quite completely understand it, it begins to work. And when you have a question for the angels, open the book where the book wants to open. You will find your answer there. This begins to connect some dots for you. Oh, the angels are listening. My loved ones in heaven want to help me. You see, you do not journey through schoolroom earth by yourself. You only attend with a great number of helpers. We ask that you ask. Please ask, so that you experience more and more receiving. We thank you for your courage to come here and to help us from the inside out. Say goodbye to lack and suffering and violence and greed and pollution for all concerned. We are the 12 archangels of the central sun, together with your own loved ones, holding you, filling you with the greatest power. Create a new life every day. Enjoy.
Enjoy. INJOY, ENJOY. So good. Thank you for that. That felt extremely potent. Aho. It's a really beautiful gift that we chatted about. What could be a free gesture to just open up my listeners, our community, into really learning to commune with the angels. And, you know, the message that they shared for us as a collective was so profound, because when I noticed my life shifting really radically from the inside, right, law of as above, so below, was when I actually started to ask and surrender to not asking from ego or fear, or I'm lesser than energy, really big for me. It was to ask of like, and it was so sincere, and it continues to be, if this is in my highest and best, and if it is in the highest and best for all involved, I ask for XYZ. And some things didn't manifest, other things, it was beyond, it was true miracle, like effortless, instant, bigger than I could have imagined, better than I could have imagined. So the message then for me on the personal level of releasing any expectations, even of those that I might not be aware of, totally willing to do so. Because I have now seen and experienced what is within that request. The true miracle, the true wealth. So to get us all on this wavelength and in this river, I do want to say the gift is in a link. So you're going to want to go to it, loves. And it's the 12 Archangels, 8 spiritual tools to manifest true wealth. And just to give you a snapshot, it's like a 16-minute video with Belinda channeling the 12 Archangels. Then you get a corresponding PDF that you can literally print out at 6 pages, fold it, put it in your purse, your knapsack, whatever, and reference this, because the tools are basically, it's like having the Archangels as your little mentor, your guide, your team with you every day. And the tools are practical and woo-woo-y. It's like the perfect combo to get us into this beautiful vibration. So some examples of understanding where true wealth comes from, understanding it's all about vibration. And I'm not going to go on because that was the first 2 tools. So those 12 free tools are available and you can tap the link. But here's what I also want to say. And this is something that I feel really excited about, and you're going to hear me talk about it in the future months to come. This is how powerful and potent it is and easy it is to be in the vibration of receiving true wealth and true miracles. Is that inside of that free offer, you're also going to be given an opportunity to invest a little bit further and to go deeper into your experience with the angels. And this is a bundle. It's only $99. Think about that. That's like 2 dinners. And it's a bundle that they've never bundled before, but they're bundling it for us. I went through all of the courses and I said, if I could have everything my way, these are the 2 courses that I would love. And they said, yes, Deborah and Belinda and the 12 Archangels. It was a blessing all around. It's wealth creation. It's funny. I keep wanting to say recreation because my mind needed to recreate my ideas.
It is recreation.
Oh, it is recreation. Oh, I wrote it wrong on my notes. How funny.
Wealth recreation and inner worth transformation.
Oh, so
That's
good.
the name of the first course.
And then you bundled, because I asked the 12 Archangels guide to a new financial reality. Whoa, for $99, I know it normally would retail if it were even available for anyone else in separate courses is $222. So it's well over 50% savings. So what I'm going to encourage anyone who feels resonant, anyone who feels called, and maybe if you don't get curious about why you aren't, this is a wildly affordable investment for $99 that will be the invitation after you click on the link to receive your free gift. Maybe you just want the free gift, all good. But this experience of being in the realm, being in the vibration of what's possible when we learn the language of soul, learn the language of 12 Archangels, and what's coming through Belinda in these courses, it is otherworldly. I've seen the testimonials. They're all over the site. And also it speaks to honoring the brand new School of Spiritual Evolution that you have started with Deborah several months back. And so this is all there. But tap the link in the show resources. It's a longer link. I don't have a catchy title for you, but do yourself a favor. Hit pause right now. Go get that link on wherever you're listening to me speak. You will be so happy that you did, and then you'll continue to hear from the Archangels and from Belinda through email correspondence. But Belinda, I would be remiss if I didn't ask if you'd like to share a few words about what you can remember about this bundle.
When I channeled this bundle, the first course that came through was Wealth Recreation and Inner Worth Transformation, and then 12 Archangels Guide to Creating a New Financial Reality. I really was blown away, and my life changed rapidly and pretty much instantly. One of my passions is teaching, so I'm a channel, but so I'm channeling their teaching, but it's a co-passionate endeavor. And what I love is that the angels, they send through the love, so they get the ego engaged while they're doing some really deep work quickly down in that cellular unconscious, deep subconscious. So they make it fun, and they are working at all these different levels. So when they say inner worth transformation, that's what's happening. They're really connecting they're helping their ego. They're loving the ego. There's wonderful exercises to help the ego, but they get it connected with the soul. And there's classes on transforming debt in this bundle, and how to awaken your creativity and get your creativity garden going. It's incredibly comprehensive, but that's how they do things. They always love to overgive, over deliver, I guess is the word. So for anyone who has the courage, let it help you. Because I've watched the results for a little while now.
Well, I'm in the midst of it now, and I'm really open to miracles. I'm open to abundance. I'm open to magic. Like, I'm open to the mystical in everyday life. But this took it to a whole new level for me of being in this field, being in this co-creative frequency, really is what it is. And it's available to all of us. And it's just beautiful to witness what can happen for us when we expand. And so $99 for me feels like a joke, to be honest. And I rarely ever come on and quote, pitch anything. I'm not pitching. I don't need to. This is worth its weight in emerald green with gold dust sparkles. How to be measured. And, when we think about the times that we are in, and I know many of our listeners, Belinda, and the people who are watching are not as tuned in to the doom and the gloom anymore. We've learned our lessons. We realize, that would just take us down into more of the pain, the separation, the division, the fear, right? But I also am fully aware that there's still this really clear mantra that I think is an anthem for our times, that ain't nobody coming to save us, so to speak. We are here to save ourselves. Yes, we can ask for help, but this is the help. Recognizing when someone has thrown you a lifeline. If you want to transform your relationship to debt, to money, to abundance, to magic, to true wealth, then understand when you've been thrown the lifeline. This is it. Like, I go river rafting once a year. I'm about to go in a few weeks. And if someone gets popped out of the boat, right? I mean, we're in class 3 rapids. We're safe. And near you, it would be the Snake River, which I've also rafted. But when the river guide throws you the line, you got to catch it. And this, for me, feels like we are throwing our listeners the line. And it's called this incredible gift: save yourself, transform your relationship with all of these things that have been from your known past, probably lacking, right? And even if the financial abundance is not anything that you are feeling diminished in, there's other areas of true wealth, right? Which is genuine happiness, joy, peace, compassion, open-hearted, everything magic. That is what's available inside, attuning to the transmissions that come through these teachings. So I will leave it there unless there's anything that you feel called to add or suggest.
It's very challenging for me to describe these courses.
Yeah.
What I can say is that everything that the angels do approve their worth infinitely. So I would say to your listeners, you deserve to have the help. You deserve to feel the love.
Yeah.
And would we, in a way, love for everything on Schoolroom Earth to be free? Well, we could say yes to that, but at the same time, we human beings don't value what we get for free. Often we've been brainwashed to believe that. So from Belinda and Deborah and the angels, we've gone as low as we can go to make it as available as we can make it, so that you get to experience. It's going to prove, the courses are going to prove their worth and assistance. That I do not doubt.
Yeah, thank you for that. And $99 is deeply affordable in these times when everything else seems to be doubling in price. You slashed more than 50% the price. And I know that I can speak from personal experience. So much of what I've shared here and so much more that's going on behind the scenes that feels pretty exciting and expansive. And I know it's just from aligning and tuning to the transmissions of this frequency and the wisdom that's coming straight from source. We don't have to do it alone. We really can ask for the help, and it's here. I'm so grateful for this time, Belinda. I feel like it's just been the most beautiful journey. I know you're going to be back. I want to have you back regularly, and I'll continue to share about this beautiful offer and this beautiful gift that you and the angels have given my listeners as a exclusive bundle. A divine deal is what I would call it. And again, that link is in the show resources, so you can head on over there to receive. Now, Belinda, where's the best way to connect with you and the Archangels these days?
The easiest way is to go to belindawomack.com, and that's going to immediately take you to the School of Spiritual Evolution, where all the angels courses are and some free meditations to download. You can learn about a personal consultation with me there, and that's where it's all at. So belindawomack.com.
Awesome. I'm so happy to know that you are opening up to personal readings, personal consults again. I remember when we met a year ago, that wasn't necessarily on the table. So I'm sure some will feel called to that. I will share that I just had a personal session with you. And I mean, I don't even know how to put it into words. I tried putting it in an email to you in one sentence, but I felt completely transformed. There was residue, there were tentacles in areas that I wasn't clear that needed to have some severing. The angels helped us do. I felt like a new person. That day when I awoke the next morning, I was trying to put it all together, and I was like, wait, no, that's all mind, ego, let it go, just receive and expand. And the feeling, the vibration that came through was beyond joyous, super clear of what I'm supposed to create, and the embodiment of my worth in order to pull that off for its highest and best. And this desire to want to create that I hadn't felt in quite a while. I was feeling a little stuck in that area. And I felt so tapped into even more of my divine feminine frequency. That was my reading with you. So, oh, yes, we will definitely link your site. So for anyone who feels called that would want a one-on-one with you, they can do so.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a treasure you are.
This was a gift.
Audience and to humanity, that your heart is so generous. And what they say, beautiful Michelle, is you've only just begun. So hold the truth at the highest vibration of love. Enter the world and walk in the world as your divine inner child. And it will only get better and clearer. We thank you. We thank you for helping return schoolroom earth, to bring it, to return it to its original sacredness, and to bring it home to heaven. We thank you.
So powerful. Thank you. Thank you, angels. Thank you. I think we'll wrap. I'll close out. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I love you all so much. Go see Belinda. Get the freebie. Get it all. You deserve it all. I love you.